It's fun. It's wild. It's Dad's Gone Crypto.
Welcome everybody to Dad's Gone Crypto. Another week, another entertaining show, I hope. And we have Crypto Dad Ryan in the show, and we got Crypto Dad Sean, and we are bringing you some strategies for the bull market. All right. So is that the right time to bring out the bull markets? Some say yes, some say no. We will be discussing some strategies and some insight. And we're going to get straight into it. So over the course of a few years, Ryan, China has been banning crypto and allowing crypto to be back on the. It's just going to be confusing the markets, all right? What has been up with that?
It's China doing China things. always up or down or whatever. There's been every single market. It's, China bans crypto. China releases the ban on crypto. China bans mining. China allows It's all been, it's every single cycle. There's 2 or 3 China massive FUDs and then massive FOMOs. So I don't know if this is necessarily any different. So yeah, but China banned crypto a while back and kicked all the miners out and everything, and now it looks like they opened crypto back up, right? So I think it's just same thing, but who knows? If anything that brings a little FOMO into the market is, I'm happy with that. So.
Exactly. And, I think the narrative now is, could China bring back the bull market? We've been in a bear market, of course, and so things have been down and depressing and miserable. So could this be the leg up? CZ from Binance believes it so. CZ tweeted that in the past, when China unbanned crypto, it traditionally led to a bull run. He said, however, this past does not predict the future. So they've done it 3 times, and every time they've unbanned crypto, they've basically set on a path to a bull run. So could this be the next leg up? We don't know, all right? But some of the reasons I think why China has banned crypto, well, I think the first one was, because all the scams in that early stages with ICOs, they said, well, let's protect our citizens. Also, I think, the risks of capital leaving the country. I think that's a time of the COVID, what happens, I don't want to keep my money in the country, or there was a housing market issues. So they were protecting their wealth from getting outside the country. So I think they did a clamp down there. Also unclear about the legal status. Crypto is trying to find ways in which to allow people to play nicely, right? So they don't know exactly the right legal framework. It takes time. So you need a couple of bad players in the market, not by design. I just think, it happens in any playground. But then the government steps in and says, well, because he did this, let's put that into play. And it'll carry on as more, problems happen in the market. They'll just kind of add in a new bill to it, and obviously strengthening the legal framework. It's good to have legal framework because it allows corporate companies to come into the space and operate within a legal framework, which, protects them from any damage to their business. So what are some other examples of why China banned crypto there, right?
Like I said, it's just China doing China things. But I honestly think they. I honestly, and I don't, not to be a conspiracy theorist here, but I mean, you said it yourself. They've banned crypto, and then they've unbanned crypto right before the bull market starts 3 times in a row now, right? So I don't know, maybe a little market manipulation on their side too.
True.
So,
could it not?
The Chinese government probably owns more Bitcoin than anyone.
Yeah, I do believe that. And could it not just be that they worried about the environmental factors and maybe the power?
Oh, sure. I'm sure China worries about the environmental factors
and the power constraints of the grids.
The absolute worst. They're the most polluting country on earth, but yeah, they care about environmental factors of power demands of mining Bitcoin. Sure, they do.
True.
Anyway, I don't know. Like you said, when they unban crypto, and it always seems to time the markets, but I think they're working within the same cycle that everyone else is, right? So they start, they put their unban on crypto now. And it's just so happens to be the time in the market cycle when, we're probably going to start coming out of the bear market here. I mean, most people would say we probably have already started coming out of the bear market, but now we've got this boring, probably have a little boring summer. I'm sure we'll have some ups and downs, and by the end of the year, I think we're going to be full, really heading back into the bull market again. So it kind of goes all along with that timing. But I mean, if you look at the reasons they claim they banned crypto, it's again, you already brought up the unclear legal statuses. You already brought up, regulatory issues and that kind of thing. They claim that they want to protect their citizens from crypto scams and that kind of thing. I mean, it's a whole lot the same reason that the left in the United States is now talking about banning crypto, right? They claim it's to protect the citizens and all this, but at the end of the day, they just don't want to lose their control. They don't want to lose their power over the people, and their fiat currencies are what give them a great deal of power over the people.
And I think China,
my opinion, that has a lot to do with it.
And I think also China have been leading towards the digital currency, the digital yen. So they didn't want perhaps any currency to take control and be a dominant factor. Instead, they wanted to obviously focus on their own. Now that they've obviously launched their own, now it's okay to allow the others to come and play in the playground, right? Allow the other children to come and play.
Right. And again, that's all about control. I mean, their CBDC, it gives them absolute control over their citizenry, right? I mean, they've got their, social credit score and everything else. I saw videos online. People couldn't even get in the grocery store unless their social credit score was high enough in the cities in China. So, unfortunately, I think that's the kind of thing that a lot of these really big government kind of people want to put in place. And so, China unbanning crypto, you're right. It's because now they've got their own digital things in place and they're ready to bring it all into the ecosystem. In my opinion, it's about as anti-crypto as it possibly gets, because crypto is supposed to be, decentralized, and it's supposed to be, by the people for the people, right? But these big governments want to get involved, and I think that's what China's doing, really, just manipulating the markets in their own favor.
All right, and they said that not all crypto will be allowed to be traded on the Hong Kong exchange. According to TED Talks Macro on Twitter, he did a bit of research and he came up with a list of coins that they believe that will be able to be traded. Of that, it was Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Atom, Matic, BNB, Binance, Cardano, DOT, AVAX, Link, Litecoin, Filecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. So those are the fairly heavy hitters, top 20, if I'm not mistaken. So it makes sense to allow them, but not to allow the free flooding gates open and you can buy anything, because then, of course, there's a whole lot of backlash with all the scams and stuff going on over there. So it's interesting, and also, from a speculative point of view, if a massive country is now back on track to buying crypto and they're only allowed to buy these coins, this could mean that these coins could actually push higher, right? They should, over time, if you only got burgers to buy, by default, the burger joints prices are going to go up, right? So from a speculative point of view, these should by nature go up, just based on a whole massive country that's a big player in the market, drive prices of these. And that's why they say also, these big players are the top 20. The top 20 push up higher, the rest of the old coins kind of follow later on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what you just named there, that's pretty much, it's basically they just went to CoinMarketCap and pulled the top 20 coins or whatever and said, okay, yeah, we'll let you trade these. But yeah, I mean, if they are truly opening it up and all of a sudden everybody in China can trade anybody with a computer, that'll obviously push things up quite a bit. So I hope it does. I hope it happens here.
Perfect. And I think one of the other things that the media has been portraying about China is that obviously China is now, they have a government-backed metaverse, so they're playing into that narrative of the virtual side of things, obviously with their digital currency as well, automation, autonomous, AI, those type of things. So I think by China starting to open up those doors, it's obviously on the backlash of America not being forefront in allowing crypto adoption to happen a lot sooner. So they're saying that because America is, lagging behind on regulations and adoption and all of that, China are trying to now be in the forefront of development and pioneering the space, being the first to market type of thing. So this could mean a good thing because now, the legal system in America need to pull finger and start getting the roadshow going. Otherwise, they'll be left in the dust. What are your thoughts, Ryan?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's this current administration that is running things right now in the U.S. is really doing their absolute best to destroy crypto, in my opinion. I mean, they won't give any real regulatory advice, and they're being scrutinized for it all over the place. But I mean, you've got idiots like you've got this Elizabeth Warren, the senator, out there saying that crypto is funding the fentanyl trade and needs to be shut down. I mean, it's just every bit of crap that you can think of is what's going on in this administration, and they're doing their best to ban it rather than embrace it. And if I mean, hey, that's great if China's actually willing to embrace it and try to open it up for its citizens, then I mean that would be great. Hopefully the U.S. Hopefully we change things here soon, and the U.S. actually starts embracing it. Because you're right. I mean, in my opinion, crypto is the future. Blockchain technology is the future. So if the government isn't willing to accept that and isn't willing to, get behind it and actually start doing some research and start getting involved, then they are going to be left behind.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been kind of bleak, and again, it's just the last few years here has seemed a bit bleak in the U.S. for crypto. But I think that's going to change. I think as we
the government,
we have an election coming up next year, so I think that election will hopefully change some things here.
The government seems to be falling all over the show. Is that too soon to make a pun? Anyways. All right, cool. So now we brought in the China thing, the China narrative, because it's a big player. It's not like some small little country on the they're trying to play a bit of crypto and get into it. There's a lot of money that could be pushing into the crypto space, driving price, driving innovation, driving that frenzy, right? So it could catapult the start of the bull run. Bull runs don't just happen overnight. It obviously it layers up. So the strategy is like, how do you, Ryan, set up a good strategy, knowing that there's a bull run potentially between the next 3 to 9 months or somewhere around there, right? Let's not put exact dates to it, but how can dads position themselves with a tiny budget, all right, to be in the most favorable position when that time comes around?
Yeah, well, I mean, right now is absolutely the best time, right? Because as we've been in a bear market for a while. Things have been down. We're cycling back up, getting ready to cycle back into a bull run. I still think we have plenty of a little bit of boring time here coming up in the summer where, things are going to continue to go up and down. We're going to have some, we'll definitely see some more lows here before the real bull market. And I don't necessarily mean new lows for Bitcoin. I don't know that Bitcoin's going to get all the way back down again, but you get these ups and downs. And when they're down, when cryptocurrencies are down in general, and we know we have a bull market coming up, it's the absolute best time to start purchasing again. So to do that, you got to kind of set your strategies, figure out where you want to be. Are you somebody that's super conservative? And you want to be in the top stuff and just, try for modest gains for the next bull run? Or are you somebody that's, looking for, to make you're really looking to risk, and, you're looking for some high risk plays, and you want to really, go into stuff, that's really super low cap and really try to get those, 100Xs going into the bull run. So, I think a lot of people are probably going to have a strategy that's kind of mixed within there. But no matter what your strategy is, and we can get into those a little deeper here in a little bit, but I think the biggest point we always say is do your own research, right? We're always saying you got to do your own research, and everybody's like, well, what the hell does that mean? Yeah. Sure, I got to research. But the fact of the matter is, the big ones out there, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're it's not so. I don't know if you're into crypto, there's not so much research to do there. I mean, those are the big guys. You put your money in there. You could DCA one strategy. You could just start DCAing into those, dollar cost averaging just a little bit of money. And we've talked about this before on the show, but just a little bit of money every week that you're putting into those top ones, and and just watch it grow. But at the same time, if you want to diversify a little bit, go after some of these mid caps, low caps. Doing that research, I can give you a quick rundown. You want to start off on get on CoinMarketCap, get on CoinGecko, watch a bunch of YouTube, right? Let's see what people are talking about. Look at those smaller cap coins that people are talking about. Once you find some people that you trust, maybe on YouTube or different social media, and you found some of these smaller coins, then go check them out on CoinMarketCap, check them out on CoinGecko. See where they're trading. You want to make sure they're trading on the top exchanges, or at least one or two of the top exchanges, right? And that they have trading and they have volume. Anybody that's got trading volume right now in the bear market is probably a good look at that, coming into the next, bull run. Hopefully that'll continue hard. So, I mean, that's a couple of the things to look at there. I mean, there's a lot of research tools. You want to talk about some of the research tools out there, or?
Yeah, I think, some of the research tools, Masari, iCoin Drops, Binance Research, where you can find almost like a deep dive into that space. So you've got a potential, say a mate of yours said, oh, you got to go get some of this. You're like, okay, all right. You don't just go blindly into the night. You prepare for it, right? So, start with the research tools, just see if the coin is listed first and foremost, as Ryan said. If it's not, and then it's probably incredibly high risk. But let's say you understand it's on there, it's doing some volume, it's listed on the top exchanges. So inside CoinGecko, there's a couple of tabs. You'll see, are they listed on DEXs? Are they listed on top exchanges? And next to it, you can see the volume type of stuff. Then you can go into Masaris and those type of things where they do a little bit of research for you. There's obviously a paid portal and a non-paid portal. It's not necessary to go to the paid portal unless you're seriously getting into crypto trading, but it gives you like a nice rounded viewpoint. But then you'll actually go into their website, right? Check out their website, see if it's good. On their website, they should have a light paper. Ryan, what exactly is a light paper and a white paper?
So the white paper is probably going to be the document that really just describes the entire project top to bottom. So a white paper is usually very detailed, and you can find that on their website. Sometimes they're, I usually, if I'm researching a project, I'm probably going to scan their white paper. It's usually very detailed and very long. So I'm going to kind of look for the biggest points that I'm looking for there, the tokenomics, what consensus mechanisms they're using, basically how they launched, those kind of things, and their big picture, what they're looking to do. The light paper, on the other hand, a lot of projects will also have a light paper, which is sort of a summary of the white paper. So the light paper, if a white paper is 150 pages, that light paper might only be 30 or 40 pages, and it's a summary. So that's where I'll probably do a lot more. I'll read that one front to back because I want to know everything that they're putting in the light paper. Yeah. Get a good read on there, get all the information I can off of that, and then from there, And one of the biggest things in that light paper is probably going to be their roadmap, what their plans are, right? So if you look at their light paper, look at their roadmap, look at their plans on the future, and then go and see if they're actually making good on those, right? So like if a project's in there and they're saying we're going to do this, this, and this by these dates, well, go check out their socials, check out their Twitter, check out their Telegram, check out their Discord maybe. It depends on the project, but a lot of them will have probably all three or at least two of those. Get on there, join their communities, and see if they're actually making good on those promises. And if they are, and they've got a strong community, a lot of times that can lead you in the right direction.
And the minute these projects step out of line in any way, you can have an army of people, inside the channels, busy, throwing up a storm. So also see how the Discord, how the social media chats engage with you. Quality. It costs a lot to have a good team to understand what the project's about, to answer all those questions. And if they really care about their community and about their project, they're going to hire good people, right? I'll go back to my golden World Mobile, have an incredible team, right, that engage with the audience. They don't allow any FUD or bad wording or swearing or chat, but the way they answer it, it's as if they're caring and nurturing, and it's all the time, right? So every time I come in there, it's like, okay, I'm cross about this because I didn't understand something, and they come back compassionate, calm, and collective, and say, listen, just chill, let's explain, this is what happens. Very helpful, right? It's because there's so many channels out there, and the mods are really bad. When you come across something that's really good, you're like, whoa, okay, this is weird. It's weird to have such a good interaction. So what do? You're like, okay, let me find out more. If my interaction is good and they're paying these people to be nice to me, well, let's engage. And that's exactly what happened with my early stage with WMT. I'm like, this is just odd. And then I started to deep dive into that space. Also,
yeah, right. And
yep.
when you find, I'm sorry,
go for it. Go.
Oh, I was just going to say, when you find something like that, when you find that community, and I mean, one of the things I like to do is just, what problem are they solving, right? Like, is it a real world problem that they're solving, or is it just something they made up for crypto?
Yeah.
And like you were just mentioning, World Mobile Token, they are solving a real world problem, and they're doing a fantastic job of it, by the way. So that's, I mean, that's one that when you find all those things lining up, that's, not to shill a project here. Yeah. Obviously not financial advice, but my opinion, something like that is really, that's really huge when you find all those factors going together.
And where are they in the stage of the project? If I've got an idea and there's no technology behind it, I want to raise money and capital to get my team to then build, I would probably stay away, because it's going to take 5 to 7, maybe 10 years for them to come, to come to fruition. But I think with World Mobile, they were building for a number of years, and then they came to market and said, this is what we've got, this is what we're leaving. And every step of the way, they've been engaging with the community on what their progress is, and they've reached, things always change in crypto. So you can't always say, on this particular date, at this particular time, we're going to launch. Things vary, right? There's a lot of things that are affected in the market, but for the most part, 98% of the time, they've reached their target, they've reached their thing. So you start to build trust, not over a few days, not over a few months, but now a couple of years. That's how long we've been in this World Mobile, ecosystem. You start to say, okay, they are starting to really come about, and I think they're in the stages of now really trying to push, their platform to multiple countries. And this is where the fireworks start to get ignited, but that's that on more soon. But yeah, just obviously check the socials. You'll hear FUD very quickly if the project's going a bit south.
Right. And then probably one of the most important aspects of the research is to really research the founders, right? Look at the projects, again, look at their websites, their light papers, see who's in charge, see the founders, see the CEO, the CTO, who's running the company, right? And really do some research on them. Check them out on LinkedIn, on the internet, pretty much anywhere. See what projects they've been involved with in the past, how those projects have done. A lot of them probably were in real world projects, see how they did there too. One of my biggest factors always in researching a project is what has the team done before? Because a lot of times in crypto, if you're looking at low cap or mid cap tokens, you're looking at projects that are very, very early stage in their developments. And a lot of times, maybe they haven't started hitting those benchmarks yet and that kind of thing, but you're looking for that next 100x, right? so you're looking for, you're looking for some of those. And, I wouldn't recommend doing that on a lot of your investment capital, but if you're looking for some of it, you're trying to mix it up a little bit and get into some of these really little ones. It's the most important factor in that is going to be the team. It's going to be what have they done and what are they capable of doing. A lot of times it's more than the idea. It's the team.
Exactly. All right. So moving along, what are two strategies that someone with a small budget, we just say small, obviously the guys, they've got lots of funds, they're already in it, they already got their own strategies going. But I'm just saying for a crypto dad out there, what are two potential, let's say I've got $100 or $500 or $1,000, that's small, right? And I want to play because I know the bull market potentially could be coming up. What could one of the strategies be, Ryan?
Well, okay. So, obviously depends on your risk appetite, but if you are someone who's very conservative, you're just getting into crypto, you're used to traditional markets, you're not used to the super high volatility of crypto, and you're just looking for conservative growth, right? In that case, you probably want to focus the vast majority of your investments into the major coins, right? So, if you were going that route, like very conservative, I would say you'd probably be at least 50% into Bitcoin, maybe 30% into ETH. The top, those are the top two. Those are the granddaddies of crypto, right? Bitcoin, it's the beginning, and it kind of it's what drives all the markets, really. So if you've got most of your money in Bitcoin, the next portion in ETH, so somewhere between a 50-30 or 60-20, depending again, how much you believe in each of those protocols. And then, then maybe putting another maybe 15% of your portfolio or so in the high caps, right? In those tokens that, you were talking about with China, the top 20, 25 tokens, those are all the highest market cap coins out there and most likely to continue to succeed, I would think. If you've got, put some of your portfolio in there, and then maybe just a little chunk, that little 5% or so of your portfolio you've got left, that's where you can be looking at like the mid caps, low caps, those newer projects coming out that you think, really delve into, really do your research and find just a few of those real little projects that you can put a little chunk of your money into. Because that little chunk of money, if you pick the right one, that could be 200-300x on your money. You might end up with more in that low cap than you have in Bitcoin by the time the bull run is over, or as long as you take your profits on the way up. But that's a conservative strategy, and then of course you could go to a much higher risk strategy. If you want to talk about a much higher risk strategy, you could basically just flip that on its head, right? If you are a gambler, if you're young, if you you're not so worried about retirement, you want to throw
and you can't afford to lose
$1,000 a month or whatever. Right. If you can afford to lose it and you want to go super high risk and just see what you could do, sure. Flip that strategy around, put 50% into low cap to mid caps, right? But again, do your research. Use do all the tools we were just talking about. You got to really dive into these tokens, because these are, of the low cap tokens, probably 95% of them are going to go to zero. So you got to make sure you're really find that 5% that's going to be good. But yeah, I mean, if you've got a really high risk appetite and you want to really try to kill it, then sure, go high risk. Put 50% in the low to mid caps. Put another maybe 20% into the high caps, right? Because that 20% will hopefully, if you do really screw up in the low caps, maybe the high caps will carry you there with that 20%, and then probably another 20% into ETH, another 10% into Bitcoin. Though that kind of a mix, again, super high risk, but that's probably the that'll probably, as long as you've chosen well, you're going to see the biggest gains with that kind of a mix. And then of course there's strategies in between too. I mean, I probably, my own personal investment strategy is probably somewhere in between there. I hold a lot. I try to keep a lot of holdings in Bitcoin and trade in the Bitcoin space because I'm not too worried about Bitcoin. It's, as far as tokens go, or as far as coins, crypto goes, it's fairly stable. And so I try to keep a lot in there, but at the same time, I do probably a mix of I'm probably kind of that mid-risk category. And I personally, I think that's a good place to be. But again, I'm a little older, so I don't want to have to go back to work. So
you got to keep your fortunes.
We gotta keep some money around. So yeah, anywhere in between there. I don't know. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, I think spot on. And remember, guys, none of this is financial advice. These are just strategies, and there are hundreds of them. It's just depending on what you feel like you want to do, right? And maybe an idea is just to take $100 and just experiment, right? Experiment with this, get a feel for it. But the number one problem with any strategy is that when your coins go up, people don't sell, right? Because it's like, oh, I've just made a 2x. Oh, I want 5x. It's the greed that comes in, right? So what if it goes to 100x, right? You're going to feel really bad. But the point is, you started with something, you've made more, all right? So get some out of it. So the same way we tell you guys to dollar cost average into a coin, you dollar cost average out of a coin. That meaning that if I bought it for $1 and it goes to $2, take a portion out. Then it goes to $3, take some more out. It goes to $4, and then you at least taken your initial out. You've taken a bit of jam, which is extra, so now you can play in another portfolio, but you leave a little bit for the moonshot. If the moonshot goes to 100, you still make good money, right? But the problem is you can't time this. No one times it, right? So people lose more than they should. And you'll always speak to some of the top traders. Oh, I should have cashed out more than I should. I held on for too long. Diamond hands. No. Take out your initial, keep it on a safe storage into Bitcoin, and then you have a little bit to play. All right. If you had to choose a couple of top coins, Ryan, obviously not holding you to it, what would it be? Short and brief.
Well, I mean, absolute top coin, Bitcoin. I mean, that's as far as longevity goes, as far as stability goes. Bitcoin. And if I needed to pick 100% winner that I'm always going to be behind, it's Bitcoin. And again, like I said, I try to keep a lot in Bitcoin because I just think it's the best store of value in the crypto space. And sure, you can make a lot of money with a lot of the smaller ones, but again, if you're looking for stability, my pick is definitely Bitcoin.
Awesome. I think number one as well, I would definitely go Bitcoin. Number two, I would probably look at World Mobile. I think it has, for me, and this is not financial advice, I think it has the biggest 100x opportunity just based on, I've done the research on what it needs to get to $1 billion market cap. It needs anything from 1 million to 10 million users. They're not aiming for that. They're aiming for 500 and above, 500 million users. So it'll take time, but I got a feeling that if it reaches $1 billion market cap, that's 100x easy. All right. But obviously do your own homework. I've done hundreds of hours with World Mobile, and we keep going and keep learning, and it's a speculative coin, but I think they're doing some great stuff, changing the game in real world stuff. Third coin, I'll probably go with Avalanche. There's a couple of games launching on it. It's in development. Gunzilla. There was top. It's called a triple A game, and some of the big guys have directed movies and stuff. So they're using Avalanche as their currency, which means that as the in-game token play goes, there's mass adoption on the game. They're going to use the platform. So the platform has utility, therefore driving price action up. So that's on that one. Then also ADA. I've never been a fan of ADA just because it's taken forever. I think it came out when Ryan was born. Old, very old. And they're still developing. But the news that has come out, two massive bits of news that has changed my perception on them, is that the language they're using, Python has millions of users, traditional developers. They can now pivot and build on the platform, which means now normal people can build on and in crypto and without learning this funny language or this new language. So adoption can be better. You need adoption to drive price, of course. And the second thing is, what was the second thing? They have now created a smart contract that anybody can use. You don't have to be a developer. The biggest problem with launching anything is the cost of contracts, the cost of developers, the cost of these things. Now, the average Joe can create a contract, launch it with ease. That is massive. It is massive. All right, you guys got to understand. So for those two reasons, it's on my list to get some. I'm not expecting 100x for ADA, probably like maybe a 5 to 10x in the next mid-peak bull run.
Yeah, maybe even better. But yeah, I get behind all those as well. I think you've mentioned a lot of great coins there that all have really good potential. So
guys, in the comments below, tell me what your strategy is. We'd love to hear, and obviously we'll comment and share some thoughts on that. So and if you have any questions regarding that, just feel free to just post and we will reply. And it's further.
Yeah, join our Telegram if you want to get. Sorry, I was just going to say if you want to get deeper into the tokens and probably more of our opinions. Join our Telegram. We can have way deeper conversations on a lot of this stuff, and we can also we can share some of the research we've done. As Sean was just saying, I mean, he spent hundreds and hundreds of hours on some of these tokens. So if you want kind of the inside and you want to learn a little bit more, join us in there and start up a conversation. We're always happy.
And
to answer
it's personalized. Sure. We've got a great bunch of guys in there already. So you get that personalized attention, and we can obviously do a deep dive. Obviously on socials, we have to do a shorter version, but in there, I think I wrote a novel when someone asked a question about similar to the topic we're speaking about. I'm like, okay, let's stop typing.
Yeah. Right. I tend to talk a little too much in there too. When I get a question, I end up with an 8-paragraph response. So.
I've got some hearts and smiley faces.
We're happy
so
to do it.
So. We do it for the hearts.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, and that concludes our episode for today. We've just got one more segment.
Whoa. Oh, I was going to say, I thought you were trying to skip out on the joke segment. We don't skip out on the joke segment. All right.
Even if we sing, even if we coffee, the Dad's got jokes. So before we end the segment, we've got Dad's got jokes, and the object of this game is not to laugh. All right, keep a straight face. And if you do laugh, you lose and have to drink a beer or 3. Or a case because it's Friday and we all deserve it. It's been a long week, guys. All right, so
it's early in my day, so I'll have one after the show.
It's 12 o'clock somewhere in the world, Ryan. I won't judge you
exactly
that much.
Yeah, that's all right. I had a clock in my kitchen that stopped on 5 o'clock, and I was like, I kept it for years broken because I was like, hey, that's the perfect clock. It literally stopped on 5 o'clock.
It's a great strategy. Great strategy.
Yep. Anyway.
All right, cool.
You want to go first?
Oh, okay. Sure. Firing out there. Here we go. It's a crypto joke, so I don't expect a lot of likes, but if you do, just like and love and whatever. Why did the blockchain go to therapy? Because it had too many blocks and couldn't let its transactions go. No way. Psychologists everywhere go like my joke. I want to make more than 2,000 right now. 1,900 is our leader. I think I'm ranked third. So don't just go like mine. Right, and you are up.
Excellent. All right. So, do you know why the cowboy adopted the wiener dog? Because he wanted to get along, little doggy.
That's unfair. You can't use accents. Get along, little doggy. Oh shit.
Oh boy.
All right. Since we spoke about China, can you do that in Chinese?
I cannot.
You got some homework to do.
I'm a dumb American. I only speak English, and I barely speak English. So.
What were you saying there, Ryan? Just translate.
Right.
Just read the subtitles below, guys. All right, we now finished. Let's cut this short. Stay tuned for next week, guys. Thank you for your time. If you'd like us to cover any topics, please just post it in the comments and we will probably cover it. Have a great weekend and we'll see you next week.
Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you on Telegram.
Ciao.
The material and information presented in this recording are for entertainment purposes only. Do not misconstrue what you hear as investment or trading advice. Always do your own research. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the guests on this recording are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of Dad's Gone Crypto or its hosts.